we had a consultant from the state library come out and do a needs assessment for our physical space. And they indicated what we already knew, which was that our space wasn't sufficient. And they had recommended a 12,000 square foot building at that time. Around 2003, the library district began to look more seriously at a facility. The old library was in the courthouse. It was that wing of the courthouse was built to house the library in '54 when the courthouse was built. And it did not expand significantly in size between '54 and when we left it, even though library services did expand significantly in size. So you didn't get the opportunity to see it, but we were pretty packed in there, you know, because in '54 libraries didn't offer public computers. They didn't offer as many kids programs. They didn't offer microfilm and DVDs and VHS and audiobooks. So we're so happy to offer the public more space and all kinds of new things in a more pleasant environment to be in.
So as for the volumes, the amount of content that
it's the same. We didn't have a content problem. We have 45,000 plus items in this building and access through our consortium to over 1 million more. What we had a problem with was public computers, handicapped accessibility throughout, spaces for people to read and study and listen, and for the preschool especially to play, since play is such an important part of early literacy. So yeah, overall volumes, there will be some collections that'll grow. If you look over in the teen area, you can see we got a lot of empty space on the shelves. That's one collection we knew needed to be larger. The early reader collection for those, very early independent readers, that collection did not have enough space or enough volumes, but overall will be about the same size for content. It's actually key to be able to have the collection accessible and to have a lot of displays, because what you don't face out doesn't circulate always.
Right.
So that's something we've been really pleased with in the new space, is now we have a lot more room for display. So those great titles that have been sitting on the shelf loitering around now can get a little more attention and go back out the door and be enjoyed.
Absolutely. How much do you get as far as donations from the community? Either financially or in books and films and audiobooks and whatnot?
We get a fair amount of donations for especially books, some audiobooks, which we really appreciate because they're quite spendy. And we don't get as many DVDs, but we would love to do so. As you can see, we have a lot of VHS, and we're making the transition, but of course we can't afford to just make the transition all at once. So wherever we can get donations of DVDs that are good quality, you know, not scratched up, then that'll help us turn that collection over. Well, the building, I would say, is probably 94-ish% complete. I mean, I'm not a construction person, so I'm not positive about that answer. But I'll tell you what we're missing. We're missing the trim, obviously, all the wood trim, and which includes the top of the mezzanine aisle and around the windows and the baseboards. And that's a big project. There's a lot of windows. Which we love, and it's great because it provides a lot of natural light. There's a lot of times that the lights, they're on a photocell sensor, so they'll go out and it saves us electricity, which lowers the cost in the long term. So we're very happy to have those windows, but it does mean that's quite a bit of trim. We're also missing acoustical panels. I don't know if you can hear, we're a little echoey.
Yep.
And the way the building is now, don't expect to have a private conversation at the computers upstairs, because we can hear everywhere the circulation desk. So there's supposed to be acoustical paneling on that ceiling that's not finished. Hanging from the beams are supposed to be, you know, acoustical banners. We need some in the community meeting room as well. So that's those are the two major projects that are not completed as far as construction goes. And then we have a number of furniture projects and built-ins. There's supposed to be a counter under the teen computers and under the adult computers. We just recently got an estimate for that, I think around $3,000 or $4,000. Our community meeting room furniture, there's meant to be a divider, so you could have 2 smaller rooms or 1 big room, and we don't have that divider yet. That divider is about $13,000. So those are sort of the things that are outstanding. And then obviously we have spaces we could have more chairs and tables and chairs, and so we want to work towards that as well.
Okay. What are some of the services that the library provides? Obviously, books, audiobooks, DVDs, and there's a community meeting room.
There's a community meeting room. It's not open quite yet because we don't have all the furniture that it would make it functional to open, but we have a grant application in for that we hope will be successful on. So we're going to open it to the public in June.
Okay.
But stay posted for that. But it will be available after hours, so it's designed to be a self-contained wing of the library, and there's a key code on the 2 doors for the 2 meeting rooms, so people could have a meeting any time that they want, whether or not the library is open. We offer also downloadable ebooks and audiobooks and some videos if you'd like documentaries. Not much from Hollywood there. And we offer lots of programs for youth. So we have weekly story times for preschool age kids. And then we have the summer reading program for kindergarten through 6th and for the teens. And there's a teen advisory group that does projects all year long. We also have programs for adults. We've got a couple coming up in April. We'll have Albert Einstein will be at the library, and cowboy poet Jessica Hedges as well.
New facilities versus old facilities. Talk about some of the advantages that the building provides.
Sure. So one big advantage is we're handicap accessible throughout. Which means also that we're stroller accessible throughout. We used to have a pile of strollers near the front door in the old library because you physically could not take the strollers through the kids' room, which was kind of a problem. Now you can. We have more computers, and the kids' computers are separated from the adult computers, which I think makes most adult computer users a little happier. We've got more reading areas, although not all the furniture we want to fill them. So, but we will have, we have only had 1 reading area in the old library. We have 3 here, and as we can raise funds to get some extra tables and chairs and laptop chairs, I think people will be happier with that. We've also got self-check and self-service for the public computers, so you don't have to wait in a line if you don't want to do that, or if you're just feeling grumpy and you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't have to. We've got a new teen area. We didn't really have a teen area that was separate before, so if you come along about 3:30 in the afternoon, you'll see our crew of young gentlemen playing some kind of computer game together in there. And we've got our play area for the early literacy. There's 5 early literacy practices that we like to emphasize as how parents can help their kids be ready for kindergarten when they get there. So it's read, talk, sing, play, and write. So we're working to incorporate those into our areas physically. We're starting in the main library because we have, of course, more space here. So we've got the puppet theater area, and then we've got some early literacy activity boards that we'll be hanging up soon. And then we'll find some ways we can incorporate writing in there. Then we've got a growing music collection for that age group. And then there's other things we can do with the branches going forward to make little early literacy boxes that we can send up to the branches so we can incorporate those elements in there in a small, contained way, since we have very small, contained branches.
The other libraries are all kind of linked together within the county?
We're a county-wide special library district, so we're our own taxing district with our own governing board, and the board members are elected by the public. And there's 5 of them. And so the main main library obviously is here, and in addition to housing most of the collection, we do a lot of the work. Like all the bill paying happens here, all the book processing happens here, all the book ordering happens here, all the program planning happens here. So this is kind of the base of the staff. And the branches are like satellites, and there's one in Paisley, one in Christmas Valley, and one in Silver Lake. Every branch has at least one reader who literally has read everything that they could possibly read in that branch. And so we want to make sure we're getting new or titles they haven't seen in a while up to the branches. And it's also enabling us to get back to program planning, which we do usually when we do a program for adults. We do it in Lakeview, Paisley, and Christmas Valley. And so we're really excited to be able to start offering programs again for the public.